Y'all should do that for a movie character day.
That would be good. This is a,
Is this chapter 12?
what's that?
Is this like chapter 12 now? Like eukaryotes?
This is chapter 12. It's eukaryotic cells. So we studied prokaryotic cells last chapter. Now we're studying eukaryotic cells. So this shows you some of the differences and similarities between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So one of the things is eukaryotic cells are bigger than prokaryotic cells. Now this shows the prokaryotic cell pretty big. But in actuality, eukaryotic cells are way bigger, usually, than prokaryotic cells. If I were to draw a eukaryotic cell on the board, I might draw a eukaryotic cell looking like this. If a eukaryotic cell were that big, a prokaryotic cell would probably only be about that big. Prokaryotic cells are usually way smaller than eukaryotic cells. Although some prokaryotic cells are big. And some eukaryotic cells are small. Most eukaryotic cells are big and most prokaryotic cells are small.
Wait.
Eukaryotic cells are bigger than prokaryotic cells most of the time.
Okay.
There are some what's it called? Some exceptions to that. There are some big prokaryotic cells and there are some small eukaryotic cells. But most of the time, eukaryotic cells are bigger. What is this that I've drawn on the inside here of the eukaryotic? That's the nucleus. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus. And there they've drawn it right there. That nucleus is a membrane surrounding all of the DNA. Prokaryotic cells don't have a membrane surrounding the DNA. The DNA is just floating around in the middle of the cell. Are you on this, Nick Frazier?
I've gotten bits of it.
The membrane surrounds the nucleus?
In a eukaryotic cell, there's a membrane around the nucleus, where in the prokaryotic cell, the DNA is just floating around without a membrane around it. So that's a big difference. We call it the nucleoid in a prokaryotic cell, but it's called the nucleus in a eukaryotic cell. The nucleus has a membrane around it. See, it says membrane enclosed nucleus. Good stuff, huh?
Where you leave it there?
And what's that?
Where you leave it there for a second?
Yeah, I'm not going to change it. And the nucleolus, can you say nucleolus? The nucleolus is a structure in the eukaryotic cell inside the nucleus. That's where the ribosomes are made. Ribosomes are made right there.
Does it hold RNA?
It does. It holds RNA. And the ribosomes are made out of RNA.
So nucleolus is in the nucleus?
The nucleolus is a structure inside the nucleus where the RNA is found and made.
So RNA make proteins.
RNA makes ribosomes.
Which make proteins.
The ribosomes put together the protein.
So
Ribosomes are like little workers that put the proteins together. They don't make the proteins from scratch. They put the amino acids in the right order. The ribosome? It's kind of like an enzyme. Yeah, it's kind of like one. It does kind of do a job. We're going to study the ribosomes in more detail later. Both eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells have the ribosomes. They also both have cell membranes, but only animal cells have cell walls. Plant cells don't have cell walls. So eukaryotic cells don't all have cell walls. But all prokaryotic cells do have cell walls.
wait,
So not all.
animals don't have cell walls.
Animal cells don't have cell walls, but plant cells do.
What is the green part of the...
That green part right there, that's called endoplasmic reticulum. We're going to study that next. We hadn't got to that yet. In this chapter, yeah, like in 3 or 4 minutes.
So should I write that down?
Now, you can wait if you want to, or you can write it down now. You don't find capsules in eukaryotic cells. Only prokaryotic cells have capsules. Eukaryotic cells don't have capsules. And not all prokaryotic cells have capsules. Only some of them. See, it says some. Remember we studied the capsule? You just wrote about the capsule. So that shows kind of some of the differences. Now we're going to look at some more parts of a eukaryotic cell up close. Parts you have to know. Ooh, that's a close-up of the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell. You know what the dark thing is inside the nucleus? 10 points. If you and your partner can tell me what the dark thing is inside the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell. Just talked about it. Dark thing inside the nucleus of a eukaryotic cell.
I got this thing. So,
That was it.
do you know what
We're
it
writing down the same thing. I wrote that down.
is? Did he just say that?
Yes! Orange correct. Blue correct.
Oh.
It's like the
Nucleola?
Peach correct.
Okay.
Purple correct.
Oh, really? Purple's correct?
Purple's correct. Anyone else?
I said
We got it.
so, you know what? You just be like that.
White correct. Anyone else?
That's how we do it.
No one? That's called the nucleolus. Can you say nucleolus? That's where the RNA is found inside the nucleus. Now, you got to know what all these parts are.
Oh my.
A bunch of gloopy, look like jelly-like stuff. Do y'all remember this from middle school?
We had to build one.
You had to build one? That's cool. This is called endoplasmic reticulum, the orange stuff. Endoplasmic reticulum. There's the nucleus, and here's the endoplasmic reticulum. Can you say endoplasmic reticulum?
Endoplasmic reticulum.
That one's fun to say. Let's say it louder.
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Yeah, or it's also called the ER. Now there's two types of endoplasmic reticulum. There's rough endoplasmic reticulum, and there's smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum has ribosomes all over it. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum does not. Remember what ribosomes do? Yes! Do it, Anna Grace.
Should have had that for back over the question.
The ribosomes make protein. And they make protein and they squirt it into the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the rough endoplasmic reticulum holds the protein. And the rough endoplasmic reticulum can store the protein for a while. And it can package it into a vesicle, which is like a bubble. And it can transport the bubble away. Do you see this bubble moving away from the endoplasmic reticulum? So the endoplasmic reticulum stores the proteins that are made and can transport them away in bubbles.
The rough.
Yes, the rough, yeah.
Is the quiz tomorrow just on prokaryotes, or will we have to label this stuff?
If we have a quiz tomorrow, it'll just be over those prokaryotic parts. But the next day, we get 2 days on this chapter. So after that, you could have a quiz on this stuff.
Okay.
Make sense? Sweet. How's everybody doing? So this rough endoplasmic reticulum is where proteins are made and stored. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is where fats are made and stored. I'm talking about lipids. Do y'all remember lipids? What was the structure of a lipid? Let's rewind a little bit. That connected to these. 10 points if you can tell me the structure of a lipid. That and these. I'll give 5 points for that and 5 points for those. This is rewinding back a few chapters. What was a lipid made of? Lipids are fats. And they're made of, I'm telling you, they're made of that and these. But what do you call that and what do you call these? Some we already studied. Some you should already know.
Mr. Willis.
Green!
Reach.
Green right on both. Here you go. White right on both.
Your battery's dying. by the
Oh
way.
no!
Yeah.
Blue right on both. Let's. I gotta plug. We can plug that in maybe. Peach right on both. Orange right on both. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Purple right on both.
Yeah, purple.
Wait. Purple only red on one.
What?
Sorry.
Good job.
It's glycerol connected to fatty acid chain.
Yeah, good job.
Glycerol connected to fatty acid chain. Hold on for a moment. Let's see if we can plug this thing in.
You did.
Let's see if we can plug this thing in. Yeah, this will work. This will work. Coming back through. Oh, coming back through, excuse me. That's a good drawing you have.
Yeah, you did.
Let's see. We're trying to plug this in.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, Nick Frazier. Yeah.
May I use the bathroom?
Yeah, everybody go.
All right.
This goes right here. Nope, other side. Right here. People at home are like, this is insane.
This is the
There you
most
go.
candid shot we've ever gotten.
Okay.
All right. So.
So, will it stretch to it down? Can you
fine.
move your desk up?
Yeah, I can do
Or
that.
you can sit right.
I'll move here.
I'll move here. There we go. Thank you. Nick. Okay, so we got this rough endoplasmic reticulum is where proteins are made and stored. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is where lipids are made. These things are put together, y'all, right there. I'm sure when we were talking about this, you were wondering where these were made, weren't you? Well, they're made right there in the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And so after the proteins and fats are made, they get transported to this thing. This thing's called the Golgi Body. Can you say Golgi Body?
Golgi Body.
All at the same time?
Golgi Body.
Now, the Golgi Body takes the fats and the proteins and the bubbles that they're in and puts them all together to make a final product. See, the Golgi Body is like a factory that assembles things. So material comes in one end of the factory, the raw materials come in one end, and the final product comes out the other end. It's like a car factory. You get tires and glass and engines and seats all come in one end, and you know what comes out the other end? A car. So this is where the Golgi is the factory that puts together everything. And the way you say it scientifically is that this Golgi Body is a packaging plant that assembles and modifies and packages proteins and fats that come from the endoplasmic reticulum. Wasn't that a good way to say it?
Yes.
The Golgi apparatus assembles and modifies and packages proteins and lipids coming from the endoplasmic reticulum into some final product. And then that final product can be released to go outside the cell. You want to see video footage?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Let's do some video footage.
Yes.
You ready?
Yes. Yes.
All right, see if you can follow this, and then I'm going to ask you some questions about the video. Oh, there's the Golgi, just looking at it by itself. Enable all, not
Here's the
recommended.
Golgi apparatus with its cis-based
Okay, so this is a Golgi, and they're kind of looking at it. You can see these bubbles going to it. See these bubbles? Those are coming from the ER. And they kind of gloop their way through it. It's kind of like a lava lamp. You remember lava lamps? They were big in the 70s. They kind of gloop their way through it and come all the way through it, and now they're out. And their stuff in there has been changed. You see, there are enzymes in the Golgi that will change things.
The Golgi bodies are the cell's packaging centers. Here, proteins are mixed with other chemicals and enclosed in bubble-like containers that then break away and move to the cell membrane where their contents are released from the cell.
That was terrible. I apologize for that one.
You're okay.
The endomembrane system consists of the
Okay, this one's pretty good. So you can see bubbles coming off of this thing. And wait, hold on. Let me back this up.
You know, this
You see bubbles coming off of here. See there, a bubble? And going to the Golgi. And the Golgi, the stuff goes through the Golgi. And then bubbles off of the Golgi. See the bubbles coming out of it there? There's one comes out. Here's another one. Look at that one. And it's got stuff in it. And it comes out. And then it's secreted outside the cell. And so this cell is making stuff that it's excreting. You have cells all that line your stomach that constantly secrete stomach acid and digestive enzymes. They come from the Golgi apparatus. They're put together here. And then the cell squirts it out of it into your stomach. So here it is, the little bubble coming again. And watch it squirt stuff out. Exocytosis, remember that? Here's another video.
This is a cell that secretes large molecules.
You let me handle that talking, sir. So here's a cell. There's the nucleus. There's the endoplasmic reticulum. Hey, there's a little mitochondrion up there. We'll study that later. And here comes a bubble coming out of the endoplasmic reticulum that contains a bunch of stuff. Watch the bubble come out of here. The bubble is expelled from the endoplasmic reticulum and it has a lot of stuff in it. And where's it going? Up the Golgi apparatus. There's the Golgi.
Is that a vesicle?
And that's a vesicle that contains the stuff. And then the stuff goes through the Golgi and it gets changed around, it gets put together, stuff gets added to it, and it finally comes out of the Golgi in another bubble, comes out of the Golgi in another bubble, and that bubble is now going to be expelled from the cell by a process called exocytosis. We learned this last chapter. The stuff gets expelled as the bubble becomes part of the membrane. Or, just the reverse, it can pull stuff in by a process called endocytosis. Stuff can be pulled in, and the bubble breaks off, and now you have stuff inside the cell.
So does the cell get smaller or bigger?
It does. It gets a little smaller during exocytosis, and it gets a little bigger during exocytosis, and it gets a little smaller during endocytosis.
So it just kind of evens out.
It evens out, and these vesicles are tiny compared to the size of the whole cell. But yeah, that is true. It does that. Okay? So let me ask you some questions for 10 points. Actually, let's do this. For 5 points each. What's that? That's 5. What's that? That's 5. What's that? That's 5. So A, B, C, and for bonus 5, D. A, B, C, and a bonus 5, D. I won't count off if you miss the bonus. A, B, C, D. Let me come back up front. Excuse, please.
Yeah, I'm going to cut off my hand and sell it.
C is the yellow one, right?
A, B, C, and D. Or D up there at the top.
Get it wrong.
Yes, all 4 right for white.
I did 5 just to get extra.
5? Oh, I see.
White.
Yes, all 4 right for purple.
Wait, did you get all these things?
All 4 right for blue.
Did you get
Hold on. All 4 right for orange. Orange, you glad I didn't say banana? Peach. Peach, you gotta tell me which is which.
Oh, okay.
Peach, I don't know which is which. Hold on.
Did you get our bonus? I don't know.
I got 4. Yeah, white got them all.
Bro.
Green.
Can you say the numbers again?
Yeah, it's hold on. It's A, B, C, and D. That's for photosynthesis. That's later. Green is right on all four. Anyone else?
Yes, C.
A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, D. See? You know the song. Has anyone ever learned the alphabet without the song?
Yeah, B, C, D, E, F,
A, B, C, D, E, F. Yeah, but you learned it with the song. Didn't you?
Oh, I don't.
I know it backwards.
I know it without.
Do it.
You know it backwards?
Yeah.
Do it backwards.
No, you have to do like the same to do
D-Y-S-C-E-T,
the...
S-R-Q-P-O-N-M, L-K-J-I-H-G-F,
Wow.
No, I can't do that.
That was fantastic.
E-B-C-D.
Peach got them all right. Okay, so nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, mitochondrions. Hey, we're starting to know some parts of the cell. Guess what the essay is over this next test?
Have you heard of this?
Parts of the cell.
Have you heard this cell song?
The cell song?
Have you heard of it?
I don't know.
Cells.
They're made of organelles.
Try to pull it back on the cytoplasm does. The nucleus takes over control when they separate.
We'll have to get that on here so I can listen to it. Let me show you the last thing for the day. How do those vesicles move? The vesicles actually move along what's called microtubules. This little thing right here is called a microtubule. It's like a train track inside the cell. And this thing right here is called, it says kinesin. That's a motor molecule. The vesicle is carried on the motor molecule, which moves along these tracks. These are like railroad tracks. This is a protein down here. It's called a microtubule. And what it is, it's made of protein. And watch this. If I wrapped up this protein around my finger, do you see that I have a little tube? That's like this tube, microtubule here. And if I just kept wrapping it, I'd have a long tube. So they're like little train tracks going through the cell. And the vesicle, what it does is it is carried along by this motor molecule. Now the motor molecule moves, whoops, let me go backwards here. The motor molecule, this, moves like your legs move, like this. Powered by ATP, it walks along the microtubule carrying the vesicle. It takes ATP to power it. But it walks along these microtubules and moves the vesicles. I got video footage. You want to see video footage?
What is ATP?
I would love to.
The mitochondria. Yeah. So let's watch how this works here.
Motor proteins cause movements of vesicles, organelles, and the cytoskeleton.
Watch it here.
Kinesin is a
See?
motor protein that moves vesicles and organelles.
See how it moves along? And there's the vesicle, and there's the microtubule, and there's the motor protein. Let's do that again. Vesicle, motor protein, microtubule. See, this thing is moving. ATP is used to make that thing move back and forth, and it pulls the vesicle along. Now, if you look under a microscope, you can see
Motor
this
proteins,
happening.
too tiny to see, are carrying vesicles.
Let's turn that off. See all these white things? Those are vesicles inside a cell. And all the little lines you see, those are the microtubules. And you can see the vesicles moving along the little lines there.
They look like
Do they go
penguins.
They go pretty fast, yeah. This is in real time, I think. But it's microscopic. So this is happening inside all of your cells right now. You got little vesicles moving around them, and think you have 80 trillion cells in your body. This is happening inside all of them. And you're just sitting there. And now that requires ATP. And stuff has to get from one place to another inside a cell. Hey, y'all don't throw things across the room.
Yeah.
What did I
To stay alive.
Watch this one.
Cells trap these materials from the outside.
and package them into tiny cargo bubbles called vesicles.
Watch it.
The bubble hitches a ride on a motor no bigger than a molecule, which latches on to one of the miniature monorail tracks that form the cell's transport network.
Look at it. It looks like a guy.
Usually, the bubbles reach their destinations within seconds. But in the biggest cells, which stretch from the spine to the toe, the journey can take 4 days. Each bubble carries a code, a chemical address label that guides it to a particular location. When it reaches its target, perhaps a lysosome, one of the cell's many recycling